Trump is actively revoking the legal immigration status from huge swaths of formerly legal immigrants.
The Justice Department is aggressively prioritizing efforts to strip some Americans of their U.S. citizenship.
Denaturalizing people, sending them to jails in El Salvador.
If you were one of like the 9 people watching CNN or ABC, NBC, CBS and believing it, you would believe that right now Donald Trump is rounding up naturalized American citizens and just as a goof, deporting them to a country where they've never been when they're paying their taxes here and, my God, just seeking a better life. You wouldn't know that serial lying child pornographers and criminals are losing the privilege of committing crimes and child pornography here stateside. Now we move on to the next lie, that President Trump now, he's not going after violent criminals. Mm-hmm. Mr. Holman lied on this show. He's not going after drug dealers. He's not going after traffickers. He's not even going after people who are here illegally. Now President Trump is actually going after native-born American citizens. He's denaturalizing them and sending them away, even though they are already rightfully Americans. That brings us to another installment of Claim Truth. And by the way, the best way to follow us, because this is the kind of stuff that'll just get throttled on YouTube, download the Rumble app. Follow me there. We're live weekdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, but you also get notified if we do a special stream or if there are clips that go up. You don't have to be beholden to an algorithm where a notification bell or subscription box works or doesn't, depending on how someone at YouTube feels that day, or Facebook, or whatever it is. All right, here's the first claim that they're making. All references available, link in the description, that President Trump is now flippantly and maliciously stripping citizenship from already American citizens.
More and more of the people Trump is arresting and slating for deportation are people whose only crime is lacking legal immigration status, all while Trump is actively revoking the legal immigration status from huge swaths of formerly legal immigrants.
I think we will continue to see the largest de-documentation of individuals, families who came here through legal pathways.
Deduct them from the country.
In U.S. history.
So much of Donald Trump's rhetoric around immigration has pretended as though it focuses only on undocumented folks. You now have NPR reporting that the Justice Department is aggressively prioritizing efforts to strip some Americans of their U.S. citizenship.
We'll get to the article.
Department leadership is directing its attorneys to prioritize denaturalization in cases involving naturalized citizens who commit certain crimes.
Yeah. What are the guardrails here?
And you just said it's a little loosey-goosey. This is not a good thing to be loosey-goosey.
Enough about your snatch.
Denaturalizing people, sending them to jails in El Salvador.
What's wrong with El Salvador? I thought it was a perfectly good, nice country.
Yeah, all cultures are equal.
What's wrong with it?
I hear there's an opening at Alligator Alcatraz. So here's the truth. President Trump, this administration, they are denaturalizing people who got their citizenship through fraud or people who are terrorists or war criminals, to be clear.
Certain crimes.
Certain crimes, like terrorism, like
minor,
like crimes. War crimes, like lying to get these papers in the first place. Right. He's basically seeking to enforce the contract as any other contract would be enforced if you commit fraud. So let me read the directives here. It's really clear from the DOJ. They will be ensuring that those who unlawfully procured citizenship, including those who obtained it through fraud or concealment of material information, do not maintain the benefits of the unlawful procurement. Meaning if you lied to get these papers, if you lied to get some form of citizenship, and specifically, if you lied about information that would have rendered you ineligible for this benefit, for this privilege, okay, we're just going to treat you like the person you are. Had you not lied, had we known? Do you have an active warrant out for your arrest? Have you committed crimes? No. Turns out, yes. So the contract is null and void. Also includes people like war criminals, terrorists, human traffickers, but we know how big on the human trafficking the left is, as we see with Abrego Garcia.
That's true.
They can't help themselves.
The Maryland father, Steve.
That's right, the Maryland father.
The father of so many trafficked children, apparently.
They protested ICE the day that they rescued 60 children in Florida.
Right.
Did.
Yep. Absolutely. And by the way,
return them to their families.
also, you can go read up on this. I don't want to spend too much time. Denaturalization has been a legal tool since 1952. This is not unprecedented. This is not the first time this has happened. And of course, it should apply to people who have committed fraud or are war criminals or terrorists.
Yes. And by the way, just in case there was any confusion, the snippet that we showed you guys, I understand people read paragraphs differently sometimes. They may think, oh, sorry, the very next page has like 10 examples of exactly what they're going to do and the people they're going after. Like 10 of them.
Right.
You could have just scrolled down the list and saved us all a bunch of time.
Yep.
That's what I do now, actually. When I see a crazy headline, I go, all right, let's see about this. Let's just go to the middle of this. Let's skip 4 ads.
It's like a 4-page order. It doesn't take 5 minutes to read it.
No, you're absolutely right. And the worst is when you go to like NPR or something and they have a hyperlink and you're like, let me go check this third-party source, and it's just another NPR article that's completely unrelated. You're like, wow, maybe I
read it because I'm like, maybe they misunderstood, and then I'm like, oh, this was like 5 sections. There's literally 1 paragraph about this, and then like 10 examples.
Let me click on the PubMed data. Oh, it's an ad. I guess I do need SPF 90 sunscreen.
Yeah.
So here's the next claim that you'll see them making right now. That regular Americans don't listen to the guy. Don't listen. It's actually regular Americans are being targeted. Here's an article that says, the Trump administration wants to strip U.S. citizenship from migrants with civil convictions. Okay, well, that seems pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so that's not necessarily normal. Here's an NPR article, too. Again, you just read a little bit further. Here's the NPR article. I believe this is the headline. It says, the Justice Department is aggressively prioritizing efforts to strip some Americans of their U.S. citizenship.
The way that sounds, it's like they're coming after me.
Well, that's the thing, is in this article, they lead with, hey, this was for example, meet this military veteran who was denaturalized last month. He's just like you. Here's the truth, said military veteran, was a child pornographer who only admitted it after he got his citizenship and was caught.
Now, that's likely something they won't let you in the country if you admit beforehand, so, you know.
I would hope not.
Right.
I don't know if they do stop those people, but I would hope that they do.
Yeah, I would
want them in.
I would hope that's one of their questions, like, hey, any chance you are obsessed with naked children?
Yeah.
Sorry, can't come in.
No, sorry, I gotta ask this question. I mean, we ask every
Sorry,
guy.
we have to ask.
Trafficker, right?
Sorry, forgive me.
No? Wait, you are?
When I go to donate blood, and by the way, you bastards keep calling me because I have a rare blood type, but when I go in, you make me go through the whole questionnaire again and have to read. It's like, you called me, you little turds. So, the point is, they ask me if I've spent time in certain areas of Europe in like the 1970s because of Mad Cow.
Yeah, because before you were born, you traveled to Europe.
Right. And then they ask me, or maybe it's the 80s, and they ask me, if you're obviously, I guess if I'm gay, or then like if I even like butts. I'm like, well, it depends who it's on. Like, they can be very, very detailed. And we can't ask, like, we're wrong for going, wait a second, you can't be in here. Why? Because you're a child pornographer.
Well, in the Netherlands.
Well,
it's okay.
First, they came for the child pornographers.
And we said nothing.
Then they came for the pedophiles, and I said nothing. And when they came for me, there was no one left to speak. Yeah, I'm fine with it. So this guy, this veteran, he hid his crimes throughout the entire process. He lied on his application. He lied on his immigration interview. And even further down in this article, again, remember the headline from NPR. It's, the Justice Department is aggressively prioritizing efforts to strip. It says DOJ announces plans to prioritize cases to revoke citizenship. They're stripping U.S. citizens. Later on in their own article, it says, at least one person has already been denaturalized in recent weeks. A judge ordered the revocation of the citizenship of Elliot Duke, who uses they, them pronouns. First red flag.
Yeah. Not in.
Well, you better respect their pronouns.
Duke is an American military veteran originally from the UK who was convicted for distributing child sexual abuse material, something they later admitted they were doing prior to becoming a U.S. citizen. Oh, God! How about we revoke your right to life?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. And by the way, you should include they, them under pronouns just to trick people into self-selecting out. If you check that box, immediately gone. No, you cannot come into this country. We do not need to import
No, we do not.
Hello, I am the Duke of Pedophilia.
That's right.
I use they, them pronouns. Please use the correct one.
That's right. I'm a lord of smut.
Now show me your butts.
I hear you're running low on lords of smut, you know. I can fill that gap.
Drop your knickers.
Your what?
Brother,
The only citizenship I want this person, I don't care if this person is a veteran, this they, them, who was a child pornographer, that I want them to have is a citizenship in hell. How about that?
There you go.
Citizenship in the river Styx.
Yeah, that one can't be stripped.
Yeah,
No, it can't.
that one doesn't. It doesn't matter anymore where they're a citizen, right? In
Yeah.
their life, not their citizenship, their life.
Be sure to tell Beelzebub your pronouns.
He'll get right on that. You thought Jordan Peterson was hard to convince.
All right, well, you will be raped by they and them.
For
Hey,
eternity.
guys, we've got a they, them.
They just show up. It's like, and I now present to you all the medals you could have won if you stayed a man. Ah! So this just proves to you that you never really know someone's history, to be clear, and we've run into this, until you do a little digging.
Hey, Devin, can you come to my office for a minute, please?
Sure.
Thanks. Look, Devin, since we hired you, I've really learned so much about you, kind of who you are.
Look, I know what this is about. I lied on my application. You got me.
What?
I know. I violated my parole in Idaho, putting you guys at a lot of risk. I've done bad things. A lot of bad things. Like fraud and armed robbery and the Maui fires. The hamster, the office hamster, he didn't die of old age.
Mr. Jingles?
Bastard really pissed me off, but it's no excuse.
Okay, look, I don't really know what to say. I actually called you in here just to tell you that I thought you were doing a good job.
Oh, well, thank you. Oh, and Gerald, tell a f***ing soul what I said today, or you'll end up with Mr. Jingles sooner than you thought.
Where is Mr. Jingles?
Tell a f***ing soul.
Mr. Jingles?
The point is that vetting is necessary. Here's the next claim that they're going to make. Those on the left. All references available, link in the description, that actually President Trump's extreme vetting isn't necessary. They'll do this all the time. They'll say, well, technically we don't need a law for that because it's not necessary. You're like, oh, what do you mean? We don't need the age of consent law because it's already a thing. It's like, yeah, but
Sounds like you're doing it.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like.
Kind of sounds like you don't want people to do the thing that'll stop you from doing the thing. That's on balsams.
Nah,
So,
not me.
Here are some headlines from the ACLU. Extreme vetting of visitors poses an extreme threat to our principles and our security.
Why are you doing Marvin the Martian?
I don't know. You can see the remnants of the peaceful protest. This comes from the Hill.
Deep cut.
Ideological vetting of immigrants is an unlawful idea. I guess if you just say it, you silly bitch.
We should always have headlines in that voice.
Daily News. Trump's claim that we need extreme vetting is extremely baseless.
Just let anyone in.
Yeah.
Extreme twice.
I love it. It's a threat to our principles and to our security to vet people coming into the country.
Jeez.
Nowhere else does this apply. What?
You know what else is a threat to security? Metal detectors in a courthouse.
Yeah, exactly. Or,
come on, let him in with the gun. What are you doing?
Or, locks on your door.
Oh, yeah, those are security alarms.
Yeah.
Window breaking alarms, smoke alarms even.
A door itself is a form of vetting, just to be clear, is to vet, like, let's see how much you really want to come in here. Right? And then you add a lock to it. Okay, it's another form. So this is the thing. We all know that there has to be some vetting. It's just that the left doesn't want there to be, vetting that actually might keep you safe. It's all political football. Here's the truth. It's verifiably wrong. We absolutely need some vetting. Let me explain to you. People have been allowed in from countries that can't or don't even produce basic documents, meaning there can be no vetting. Let me give you an example. Somalia. They have no official birth certificate or marriage certificate. They have no official IDs, police records. Proof of things like birth and marriage, they're done through personal affidavits. And the State Department even wrote about this thing. Although the United States formally recognized the new government of Somalia on January 17th, 2013, there continues to be no recognized competent civil authority to issue civil documents. Meaning, hey, where were you born? How can you prove it? This person says so. That's it. It's an affidavit. It's hearsay. Maybe that's how you end up with someone like Ilhan Omar here, who married her brother.
Well, that we don't know. There's no. They didn't have any proof.
In her case, she does.
She did it's so funny that she was arguing. No, I'm serious. I married my brother.
Yes, exactly.
You have to believe. Ask my sister.
Yeah.
Ask our parents.
We only know because she's trying to one-up her terrorist friends at parties.
Yeah, well, did you marry your brother?
I did.
Call me when you marry your brother.
He is the captain now.
The captain of my heart and womb. So, some other countries with official document issues, let's call them.
Issues, yeah.
And I'm sure the list will surprise you. Afghanistan.
No.
Ethiopia. I know I read it. I said, the cradle of civilization? Say it ain't so. Yemen. Sierra Leone. And Equatorial Guinea.
I'm not sure why we included that one, but
they don't have any documents. So
no,
it's
I know.
We don't need any vetting. It's a threat to our principles. Okay, how do you know who these people are?
They document the diamonds in Sierra Leone better than the people.
Yes,
I know.
they do.
It's crazy.
Listen, that's on us. That one's our bad.
So let me put this all together here today, okay? Again, what would the left do if they had completely unfettered power? There would be no alligator Alcatraz because there would be no deportations. We wouldn't have a secure border. We'd still have a record number of terrorists and just illegal aliens. That's bad enough. Pouring through the border. We would continue to violate basic women's rights as far as college sports, as far as women's only spaces. And we would not vet anybody coming from countries that have no official documentation, and they're very, very clear, they would not denaturalize a child pornographer.
They wouldn't even stop. It's always about not enforcing the law, right? I was just thinking about this. It kind of all came together. They'll say, well, it's already against the law for illegals to get Medicaid. Yeah, but there's some on there, so you should be in support of this bill. No, we're not in support of this bill. Well, it's already against the law for people to be illegal in this country and vote in an election. So why do we have to do anything else? Well, no, it's because we think people might be voting in this election illegally. So can we please have some voter ID or some kind of constraints? It's already against the law. Every single time they're like, it's against the law. But they don't want to enforce the laws that we have. It's extreme vetting. It's not vetting, like vetting regular. It's extreme vetting to make sure that people don't come into this country that shouldn't be here, like child sex traffickers.
Yeah, this is tools for proof, so you can enforce the law. I'd be like saying, well, murder's already illegal, so I don't think we need this new DNA evidence fad. It's like, no.
Yeah.
It's to actually find out if people are doing some murdering.
And it's so hypocritical. Nobody needs a firearm unless you're a part of my security detail. It's that same kind of logic on all of these things. It's the no cash bail. It's just like, turning these people back out into the city to commit crimes. I don't understand how you can build a society that way.
Well, this is how the left wants to weaponize the law and then not enforce it, meaning they want to weaponize it in a way that is so selective that it almost exclusively harms their political enemies while not enforcing it as it applies to you, laws that keep you safe at large. In other words, there are people on the left who actually believe that Donald Trump taking a loan that he paid back with interest and the bank was happy to do and would have taken again because he tried to pay less on his property taxes, as everybody does. They believe that is a more gross violation of the law than a child pornographer coming into this country and lying about it. And this is how you know they're full of shit. They go, oh, well, Donald Trump must be, even though he's the first person who would be charged in this matter, because no one is above the law. What about human trafficker Abrego Garcia? No one is above the law. What about child pornographer? No one is above the law. What about people coming in from Somalia who don't have papers? No one is above the law. What about the child sex offenders who we've discussed, who, by the way, have taken advantage of transgender LGBTQ AIP laws? No one is above the law. What about the Biden family? No one is above the law. What about the Clintons? No one is above the law. What about Michael Brown? What about George Floyd? What about Tukey Williams? Like, you constantly tell us that people shouldn't have to follow the law. What about catch and release? What about cash bail? No one is above the law. You can't take a loan that you pay back with interest, but you can take pictures of those children's butts. You guys start to understand how evil it is, and then you understand how evil the media is when they run cover. If you were one of like the 9 people watching CNN or ABC, NBC, CBS and believing it, you would believe that right now Donald Trump is rounding up naturalized American citizens and just as a goof, deporting them to a country where they've never been when they're paying their taxes here and, my God, just seeking a better life. You wouldn't know that serial lying child pornographers and criminals are losing the privilege of committing crimes and child pornography here stateside. You wouldn't know that Abrego Garcia, allegedly, human trafficker, including children. You can see it when it dawns on people's faces.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, you know there are more slaves right now than ever on Earth, recorded history. What? How? Hey, what do you think the first steps would be to stop it? Well, I don't know. I think it's bad. They've never thought of it. How about sealing up borders? How about setting up some interception points where they are most likely to engage in said trafficking activity? Borders!
How about a federal law enforcement agency?
How about no sanctuary cities so we don't let them stay here and do that kind of stuff?
No one is above the law. No, what you really mean is you don't want a free society, those on the left. They don't. What they want is a society where only they can wield the hammer that is the law, and they exclusively wield it against their political enemies. See Barack Obama and the IRS. See the Clinton Foundation. See Journalist. See, of course, what happened with the Hunter Biden laptop story. See what happened with Donald Trump and the DOJ. See what happened with COVID and people who lost their jobs where there were criminals allowed to roam free. There is zero consistency, and this is why the left will continue to devour itself and right. It's not left and right. It really isn't anymore. I'm sorry. If you just look at these stories today, it truly is good versus evil. Oh, that sounds absolutist. You're right. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, you can click around and watch one of these videos on YouTube, or head on over to Rumble and subscribe, where I am live every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Live on Rumble. YouTube is dead. Rumble did it. And on Rumble, you can say